Hey everybody, welcome. Today we've got a brand new installment in our Versus series. This is a series where we're going to take two guns and pit them against each other head to head, see which one performs better, but more importantly, which one is a better value for the money. And sometimes these competitors are brand competitors in the same class type and price range, in which case it's just a very straightforward performance and quality review. But in a lot of cases like today, we like to pit the competition version of a gun against the elite version of that same gun and make the determination if it's worth that jump in price. Today we're looking at two guns from Elite Force and Umarex. The first being this H&K officially licensed MP5 Competition AG, and this officially licensed HK MP5 A4 Elite version with the VFC Avalon gearbox. So let's jump right into it. Alright guys, here we go, and as we said in the intro, the purpose here is not to determine if the Elite version is better than the competition series, because it damn well sure better be. The purpose is to find out if it's worth starting with that competition series or jumping straight to the Elite. Now, both of these guns have been provided to us for review by Fox Airsoft. And we're going to start by doing a quick overview of the externals and the internals of the MP5 Competition series, which you can pick up for $185. Alright guys, this competition kit does come with an A4 and A5 stock all in one kit. It is a fully licensed HK MP5, so it's got all the trademarks on it. It's got a metal outer barrel. Both the upper and lower receiver are polymer, as is the foregrip and the buttstock. And the grip is actually part of the polymer lower. It's definitely a lighter grade polymer and has a bit of a plastic toy vibe to it. Up front you got a removable QD flash hider that reveals the HK 3-lug orange flash hider beneath. And this is actually a one-to-one replica of the actual 3-lug 9mm QD flash hider made for the MP5 in real life. It does have a locking charging handle, which is also plastic. Pulling the charging handle back does not reveal a rotary style hop-up where the ejection port would be, because this competition series gun has the adjustable slider hop-up on the left of the body. Plastic sling mounts at the front and integrated to the PDW stock. There's also a back sling mount on the A4 stock, ambidextrous fire selection controls, ambidextrous magazine release, and a 200 round metal high cap magazine. Up front you've got a ghost ring sight with a rear adjustable dial sight, and these work really well. There's no tack rails on this gun, but you can get a claw mount if you want to put a tack rail up top. On the A5 stock, the thumb paddle adjusts the positions of your PDW stock, whereas the A4 stock is fixed in place. Now inside this gun you've got a full metal version 2 gearbox, but it does not have a MOSFET. There's actually two places on this gun wired for the battery. You can either run the battery up front in the handguard if you're running the A5 PDW stock, or you can actually run it in the A4 stock in the back as well. Now switching over, let's have a look at that Elite Avalon. Alright guys, the HK MP5 A4 Elite Avalon is also officially licensed by H&K, so you've got all your HK licensed trademarks. They are really subtle though. They're hiding up here up top where you're normally going to be wanting to put that claw mount. It's much more solid, it's a little bit heavier, it's got a full metal upper receiver and barrel assembly, reinforced nylon polymer lower, handguard, and buttstock, just like the real MP5. And this particular version only has the fixed A4 stock on it. It's also got the same fixed front ghost ring sight, as well as the same adjustable dial rear sight. We've got the threaded and blazoned 3-lug front orange tip on this gun. It does not come with the QD flash hider, although you could order that separately if you wanted it. Metal sling points on the left side of the front and the buttstock. Ambidextrous fire selection control. Working charging handle that does reveal an adjustable hop-up in the ejection port, which is an AK slider style adjustable hop-up. You've also got an ambidextrous mag release behind the magazine, and it comes with the same 200 round winding metal high cap magazine. It comes with the VFC Avalon full metal gearbox with a MOSFET included. The battery only goes in the stock, and there's plenty of room for most variations you want to run. Both of these guns shoot in the mid 340s for FPS with .20 gram BBs. And testing both on an 11.1 LiPo, they shoot 15 and 16 rounds respectively, with a little bit of an edge there to the competition series. But of course, shooting both of these guns, what we really want to know is how accurate they are, how consistent they are, how their hop-up performs, and what kind of grouping they get compared to each other. And to that end, to make sure that only the gun is doing the work, we use the iron sights for both, and for a large portion of our shots, we sat down with a shooting stick. In addition to all those other steadying factors, we're also being very mindful of where our finger is on the trigger pull. All right, so we got the competition kit on the left and the Elite Avalon on the right. Now I noticed immediately firing the Avalon that the sight was off to the left. So you can see all of our groupings are slightly left of center, but clearly the groupings on the Avalon are a lot better. And the hop up on the Avalon is much, much better. I did get a few outside of the target on the competition, but I got a few outside the target on the Avalon as well. A little bit less on the Avalon. Like I said, the Avalon is obviously far more consistent. But interestingly enough, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, the exact same number of bullseyes. But it does look like the grouping is a little bit tighter on the Avalon, which you would expect it to be. But I would expect, because the competition kit is a little bit more dispersed, that as you go out from 75 to 150 and 200, you're going to see a lot more misses and a lot more variation, whereas the Avalon is going to stay pretty spot on, at least judging by the grouping. All right. All right, guys, so there you go. Before we talk about actually landing our shots, let's just talk about how the guns looked and felt while shooting them. There's definitely an edge here for the Elite Avalon, as there should be at this price point, but the Elite series is just much more solidly made. Nothing moves while you're shooting it, nothing rattles, nothing creaks. It's got a very crisp, quiet gear rotation. The gears just sound really, really well shimmed. Now, by contrast, on the competition series, when shooting it and holding it, it's, you know, we have to go back to saying it kind of has that toy gun vibe going for it. Just looking at these guns side by side, the Elite Avalon definitely just looks more solid, has a higher quality polymer look to it, and holding it, shooting it proves that to be true. On the competition series, the lower quality plastic really creaks and cracks a lot when you're moving it around and shooting it. And more concerning, the gearbox itself is moving around quite a bit as you're shooting it inside of the lower receiver and clunking around. And similarly, and this is not something I've really routinely see even in competition level guns, the motor itself inside of the pistol grip is moving around and clunking a lot as well as you're shooting it. Now, these two things would lead me to question the longevity of this gun, but remember, it is a beginner's gun. Now, as far as shooting goes, the Elite Force Avalon definitely has a little bit of an edge here. Not a huge one. The accuracy and consistency of both of these guns was pretty good at 100 feet, and the hop up on both was set at about midway to keep .20s on line at that 100 feet. But the competition series had a little bit more variation in the grouping than the Elite series did. Now, as you saw when we were shooting these, we did use a shooting stick and the iron sights for both guns because we wanted it to be 100% the gun doing the work, not necessarily the shooter. So as you can see, the Avalon was definitely aiming a little bit over to the left. And rather than try and compensate or correct for that, I just continued to aim where the iron sights were telling me it was going to go so we could get a true representation of the grouping between both guns. So even though it's offset to the left just a little bit, the grouping for the Elite was much tighter. And even though we mentioned that both the hop-ups carried the .20s on the line at 100 feet pretty easily, set at about the midpoint, the amount of hop left and the slider for the Elite version was definitely a lot more than is left in that competition series. So you're going to be able to run much heavier BBs in the Elite version. So what is the conclusion? Well, our conclusion is twofold. One being, if you're looking for an MP5 to add to your collection for the long term, it is definitely worth saving up and getting that Elite version. It is just head and shoulders above in quality versus the competition series. Now, our second conclusion is, if you're just starting out in airsoft and you're looking for a beginner gun and you don't necessarily want to be like everybody else out there running an M4, or if you just really love the MP5 styling, and if this is probably not going to be your forever gun, then at $185, this is a perfectly acceptable entry-level AEG. Now, if you're an every weekend player, I'm guessing this is probably about a 9-month gun. But of course, the less often you play, the longer it's going to last. All right, guys, if you're enjoying the content and you want to help us out, like, comment, and share the video. And if you haven't already, join us on our airsoft journey by hitting that subscribe button and that notification bell so that you don't miss a single video that comes out every Tuesday with bonus videos on Fridays. And until then, we'll see you next time. Oh, hey guys, we hope you liked the video, and you know, if you did, we've got a whole bunch more. In fact, there's a couple right here. You can look at this one or this one right there. Or you know what, if you don't want to miss any of these, you could go ahead and subscribe by hitting that little round button right there. I mean, you don't have to, but I'd like you to. I do put a lot of hard work into these videos, but you know, you can do whatever you want. It takes a lot of time, but